We're going to deal with Leviticus chapter.
All right. Praise the mighty Yah. Shalom, shalom. Welcome back to the house of Yahudah. I am Minister Michael Yisrael, and it is an honor and a privilege to be able to broadcast and to share with the world. You know what? I am truly grateful to Yahweh for allowing me to minister, for allowing me to truly glorify and praise the Almighty, not just on his weekly Sabbath, but every day that he allows me to see. So welcome back. If you tune back in, welcome back to the house of Yahudah. And now let's go ahead and get started with our second portion of today's Sabbath services. Let us now turn to the book of Psalms. We'll open up with the Psalms reading out of Psalms chapter 11. Hey, sis, shalom. So let's turn and read out of the book of Psalms chapter 11. And we'll read this great Psalms together. And then we'll discuss this psalm. There's a verse here that I want to talk about, but now let us turn and face the east. Let us recite this great Psalms together, and that's Psalms 11. Praise Yah. In Yah put out my trust. How say ye to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? Below the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the string. They may privately shoot at the upright in heart. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Yah is in his holy temple. Yah's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids try the children of men. Yah trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and horrible tempests. This shall be the portion of their cup. For the righteous, Yah loveth righteousness. For the righteous, Yah loveth righteousness. His countenance doeth behold the upright. Praise Yah. Thank you, Father Yah. Amen. All right. Now, the verse that I wanted to look at here in this particular Psalms is verse number 3. And it says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Now, for those that may tune in or may tune in a little later, like I said, I'm, always willing to go back over Psalms. Let's think about that verse for a moment. If the righteous be destroyed, what, or if the foundations, what are the foundations that's being spoken of here that you might think? Could this be talking about the Almighty or actual ground, or what is this talking about? So I give you a few minutes to think about that verse. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Let me ask this question. Is social media really as powerful as some may believe? Say, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, social media, unfortunately, is real powerful because a lot of people actually, they base their life around social media and stuff. For instance, like Facebook, you have a lot of people that use Facebook as a therapy. They can put out literally everything that they do. They go to Facebook and post every daggone thing on Facebook. And it's sad because the social media, if something was to crash with Facebook, that people it would be a lot of people committing suicide, unfortunately, because they use social media to as a healer for them, and social media explore, as everybody know, everything, that evolves around us is based on social media. And that just, people just done got consumed, and, that me, I don't have no Facebook account. I don't deal with all that and everything, and, it's just so sad because it's just like the social media, people done it just done consume people.
Yeah.
It done took over their mind.
Yeah. Excellent point. What was you gonna say, my man? That was excellent.
Say the same thing. It is powerful. And when you compare somebody, like say if somebody's living good on the internet, and you see their life, and you look at your life, you start to get depressed. So it's
It's very, very powerful. And
compare yourself to people.
for some, social media became more powerful than Yahweh because they will. It's so sad.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I just praise the mighty God for giving me the strength and intelligence and to be brought up by a strong woman, a strong mother and father, and don't get pulled into all of that, But like that, I just praise the most high, y'all, that I'm not one of them that gets wrapped up into none of that. If my mom would tell you, I don't. Anybody that know me, I don't get into none of that. So me, one, I'm a private person.
Right,
If you want to know something about me, I'm not going to jump on Facebook and post this and that, and people argue back and forth. They actually just done lost their mind. That's just how it comes. They done lost their mind instead of being wrapped up in somebody that can save you. Because social media cannot save you, people. I'm telling the people that's listening to our class, if you thinking that jumping on Facebook, going back and forth with your brother and sister is going to save you, no, it's just going to condemn you.
And you know what's deep is, and you said it too, sis. I'm gonna tell you that people commit suicide because they didn't get enough likes on social media. Like it used to be. My wife and I had a conversation with Takari, and we told Takari, we said, we want you. Don't be good. Basically, we was like, don't be good at something to receive accolades from others. You be good at something because it's good in you. And that's what we do. We spend all of our lives trying to be the best. Not be the best because that's what's in us, but be the best so that others can see and recognize the best in us. I don't know if it was Sammy Davis Jr. I think it was Sammy Davis Jr. My wife has shared a quote with me. She said that he has said one of the worst things a person can do is try to please everybody else. And that's what we do when we get involved with the social media. I have a Facebook page and I want to get rid of it. And this thing is so, I'm not even on it. Like I look at it like if I want to send a message to somebody, or I might go on it to look, like I get like updates on my phone and I might look at stuff, but it's like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I get friend requests. And if you a friend request and it's inappropriate, I swipe you out. I don't even want to open you up because you're already showing me what you're gonna be about. But I hold on to certain things, and that don't mean what they call it. I'm not a sourpuss. I like to laugh and joke and have fun and all that good stuff. So I'm not saying, but I don't get on social media. I don't get on Facebook a lot because sometimes it's kind of sad, And everybody is like Sister Maria said, everybody want to get on here and argue and fight. That's one thing too that I'm like, hey, if you disagree with me on something, I would much rather you call me or we talk about it face to face as opposed to posting it on social media. Because when you post it on social media, and this is another thing too, people, and me and my wife was talking about this, and she was schooling me on something. People, listen, you post something on social media, that means you're ready for whatever comments coming your way, whatever somebody say. And I'm gonna tell you how effective how much we care so much about people and how they think about us. You could post something and get 100 views. 99% of the people could be like, oh, this video the bomb. But then you got that one person that be like, this is stupid. You will focus your whole life on that one comment and totally forget about the 99 others who loved what you posted. And then we post our business. Like Sister Maria said, we post our business out there. I don't need to know that you and your man got problems. I don't need to know that you and your woman got problems. I don't need to know these things. I don't need to necessarily know where you gonna be at. We posting everything. Guess where I'm at today? I'm at Benihana. Guess where I'm at today? I'm in Toledo. Hey. And then you end up on the news for missing. I found out something a couple years ago that stalkers, that a stalker can go on your Facebook page, look at any of your pictures, and grab your information off of your pictures that you post. Your home address, all that. And then when there's a function on your phones where you can get pinged, or where you go on Facebook where you can post if you know where you at. If I'm gone, I don't need you to know where I'm at. Those that know where I'm at are the ones that I want to know where I'm at. So why did I go into social media? Because social media is our foundation. That's what we base our life on. When you measure a person's quality by how many likes they get, that's the type of world we live in now. Like you said, Eliza, you go on here and let's say you think your life sucks. But you go on here and you see people you might have went to school with and they doing big things. They, they own boats and, they own planes and they traveling. Like, yeah, we went to Africa last week, or yeah, we're going to France and yeah, somewhere we're going. And you start looking at that and you start comparing your life. And you start being like, well, damn. Or let's say you got a mate that may not be able to do a lot of the things that you want with life for him to do. You get on social media and you see your girlfriend like, look what my man bought me. My man bought me this diamond ring with the earrings to match. Girl, we live in it. And you on there looking and your man come in the room and you don't never buy me nothing. And he's like, where did this come from? What you mean I don't buy you nothing? You don't buy me nothing. I bought you a purse. Yeah, but that bag was 2 years old. You got me walking around here with a 2-year-old bag? Like I could have bought you a Eastport book bag. You know, and kept and saved hundreds of dollars, but you just, you know, and then we as men do it to the women. We get on here and we look at these women who posting on OnlyFans and posting stuff on Facebook and they have dressed, and let me tell you something, fellas. 9 times out of 10, them women don't look like that. They got something, they got filters. They filter out some of these women filter out the little dents and bruises on their butt when they taking them booty pics. They filter that stuff out, make it look smooth. Some of these women got mustaches. They do stuff to hide that look. And then, but hell, I mean, I remember when Elder Young Wells talk about that. And how he'd be like, man, he was on there, he saw a woman, a man, and fixed himself up to look like a beautiful woman. It's filters for that. And let me tell you something, ladies. You got these men out here, I ain't saying it's all of them, but you got most of these men out here. Guess what? If filters work for taking away blemishes, it also works for making things bigger. So he on there posting videos of him necking and he looked like he built like a horse down there. Believe you me, 9 times out of 10, that's a filter and you falling for it because you lonely. You desperate. Like, ooh, girl, did you see him? And then when you meet him, you disappointed. You understand? He go from looking like a horse to an infant. You like, that ain't what was in the video. What is that? Oh, this is me, baby. No. And that's what we social media will make you anything that you want to be. And and we spend more time worrying about how someone thinks about us than how we think about how we look at ourselves. We'll get on here and I'm going to ask sisters, and it ain't just, and I'm going to ask my Israelite sisters too. Let me ask y'all a question. Why when y'all posting pictures, you gotta post a butt picture? It's even worse when you don't got a butt. But then you posting butt pictures. What are you doing? You dressed in an African garment doing this. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you doing? You understand? So, when it says in verse 3 of Psalms 11, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? But due to social media, that chisels away at the foundation. Social media chisels away at the foundation. Everyday societal things chisel away at the foundation. Turn with me to this Psalms. And we've read it before, but turn with me to this Psalms. Turn to Psalm 71 real quick. No, 73. Turn to Psalm 73. In the book of Psalm 73, at the first verse, it reads, truly Elohim is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Why? Because I started seeing something that chipped away at my foundation. And that was I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. That's one of the biggest that's one of the biggest hammers. That is the most destructive hammer used to destroy our foundation. That is why. Could that be the reason why we don't take Yahweh's weekly Sabbath as serious as we do? Could that be one of the reasons why we don't take his holy day serious? Because our foundation is constantly being chiseled away by social media, by how society say what perfection is. I've heard motivational speakers like Les Brown, and these are men, Les Brown, and I listen to these men, and I listen to them, and they're very inspirational to me. I love listening to them. But one of them said something one time. But one of these motivational speakers made a statement that I disagreed with. He said the word perfection, it's impossible to be perfect. He said that word perfection, it's impossible to obtain perfection. That was the idea behind his comment, that it's impossible to get perfection. Let me ask, is it impossible to be perfect? In these days and times, is it impossible to be perfect?
No, it's not hard to be. Well, wait, let me take that back.
Mm-hmm.
You can become perfect, but at times like this, it will be even harder to become perfect. As then, back then, it was easier because there wasn't a lot of wickedness. I mean, it was, but it wasn't passed down. What else?
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm starting to think about that. But
You sure?
a lot of people knew the law more. A lot of people knew the law. More people knew the law back then than now.
Okay. All right, very good. A lot of people knew the law. Turn with me to the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8. Is it possible to be perfect, even in these days and times? Because I was quoting one of the motivational speakers. I didn't quote him verbatim, but the premise behind his comment was that it's hard to be, it's impossible to be perfect. So my question was, is that true? Is it impossible to be perfect in these days and times? So let's go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 8. And this is what's being told to us. In the 61st verse, it reads, I'll start at the 60th verse. Let's see, wait a minute. No, I'm going to start at the 59th verse. It says in the 59th verse in 1 Kings chapter 8, it says, and let these words, I'll wait till everybody get there. It says, and let these words, wherewith I have made supplication before Yah, be nigh unto Yah Elohim day and night, that he maintain the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel at all times as the matter shall require, that all the people of the earth may know that Yah is Elohim and that there is none else. 61. Let your heart therefore be perfect with Yah, our Elohim, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments as at this day. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so yeah, you impossible to put in the man, and they gonna look at you as not being perfect. Yeah, but in Yahweh, that's all that matters is Yahweh and stuff. You doing his laws and commandments. Yeah, but the man gonna tell you, of course, you gonna say no, it's possible. But yeah, it's possible to be perfect. Only in the eyes of who what matters, and that's Yahweh. But the man gonna always look at you as being imperfect.
That's right. That's right. And you take Job. The Almighty said that he was perfect in his time. A man who eschewed evil. Right? Meaning he hated evil. Right here is being said to be perfect with the Almighty. What makes a man perfect? Is it how many push-ups you can do? Is it the smoothness of your skin, or the straightness of your teeth, the length of your hair, the form of your shape? No. He said, man, in verse 61, he said, let your heart, therefore, your heart, ain't talking about this, your thinking, your mindset, because your mindset is what directs your feet. What I mean by that? When you desire something, where do you first notice that desire? Is it here or is it here? You know what causes the rapid heartbeat when you're in love with someone, or the sweaty palms? You know what causes that? Here. This causes it. It has to come here before it affects anything else. Men are visual. We're visual. Women aren't as visual. That's why, not in all cases, but that's why women love to read. Think about it. Women love to read what? Romance novels. Because women have an imagination, right? A woman will sit there and read Zane books. And if you know who Zane is, if you're old enough, yeah, those books. A friend of mine gave me a Zane book to read, and I said, it's too much for me. It's too much. It was a good read. But women are not as visual as men. Women can, not to say they're not visual, but women actually can imagine the situation and be in tune. Why you think they don't make romance books for men? Or am I being stereotypical? I don't know any men that read romance novels. I know you might know some men who write romance novels, but when a man and if you ask authors, most men aren't their biggest buyers or purchasers. It's usually women, right? Women like to sit back and read the books about his throbbing muscles and the sweat off his body and him riding on a motorcycle or a horse and the size of his girth. And y'all women like reading about that. But what do men get? We get Penthouse. We get Playboy. We get Booty National. You know, we get Breasts Are Us. We get, because we visual. Women, why you think women, when they go on OnlyFans and stuff like that, they post these pictures of themselves? If you go on a woman's Facebook page, very rarely is there a bunch of pictures of her writing about herself. Like, hi, I'm 20, I'm in size double D this, I have a big butt, I have this, these are my curves. And men will be like, we don't want to read it, we want to see it. So then what happens? All a woman got to do, and I'm going to tell you how deep it is. Even the FBI know this. Think about it. Have you ever got a friend request with a picture of a woman on there? I mean, fine. And she's dressed, you like, dang, she cold. Who is this? And as soon as you click on her thing, she might even respond back to you like, hi, how you doing? I was looking at your profile and I think you cute. Then the next thing you know, you befriend her. You ain't befriend her. You befriended AI. You befriended something that's dealing with that's watching you. You putting in all your pictures and posts and sharing stuff with a machine. And that's to get you. Why? Why are men so easily snatched? Because we're visual. Women, man could be like, you know what? He could send you a letter like, to be or not to be. You are so beautiful to me. You make my heart flutter like the seas of a roaring. We be like, oh my God, he is so romantic. Oh my God. Oh. And women imagine him like standing there with his shirt off and muscles and reading this like to be or not to be. That's what women see. And they can be aroused easily that way by words. We gotta see it. We gotta see the jiggle wiggle in order for us to get aroused about it. We can hear stories. Your boy tell you about his little caravan of sex stuff. And he'll be like, man, I had her in this position. The whole time he talking, you thinking about her like, damn, I wonder if she looked like this. Because you're trying to visualize her. Not necessarily him, but her. So these are tools that's used to knock away at the foundation to make us weaker. Because once you take away something's foundation, the structure itself really, if a earthquake comes, if there's no strong foundation, it's going to crumble. It's going to crumble. And when you take away the foundation from anything, you're going to lose its strength. Strength is in its foundation. You remove the cornerstone from something, then the structure is going to wobble a little bit. You don't believe me? Play Django, whatever that little game is. Jenga, play Jenga. And if you remove a particular piece, at first it's structured because it's enough to hold it up. The foundation is strong. But then remove something that takes away from that foundation, guess what? It falls. You understand? So now let's turn here. And also too, I wanted to say this, and I hope he's on as well. What's up, Brother Brown? Praise Yah. Shabbat Shalom, Brother Brown. But I want to say this too to Brother Gary too. Last week, he was making a statement, and I have to say, Brother Gary, I apologize for misinterpreting your statement. I thought it was it was going to be a back and forth, but it absolutely wasn't, Brother Gary, and I was wrong, and I apologize for how I came at you about that, because he wasn't sharing. He had already told me about, we were talking about Nephilims. I think that's what giants are called in Hebrew, but he was kind of correcting me on something. And he brought out the point of the big Martin Luther King statue. He wasn't using that to debate me. He was just throwing an example out there. And I want to make sure that I apologize to Gary. And I'm glad he came back, praise Yah, because it hit me right after we got off. And I said, yeah, let me make sure that I apologize to my brother Gary for my misinterpretation. It had nothing to do with him. That was all me. So, Brother Gary, I hope you can forgive me, brother. Praise Yahweh. And I thank you for coming back on, brother. I'm going to read a few comments here. Brother Brown says, Shabbat Shalom. And like he said, and Brother Brown agrees with y'all, it says, it is not impossible to be perfect. He also says, ye shall be holy, for I, YAH, am holy. That's perfection. Brother Brown, you're absolutely right. Brother Gary says, I did say yes in the sight of Yah. And then he said, we have to walk in his ways. You're absolutely right, brothers. Noah was perfect. That's right, Brother Brown. Noah was perfect. And praise Yahweh. Thank you, Brother Gary. I appreciate that. But even Noah was perfect. Now, does that mean that to be perfect, see, man measures perfection according to what they see. You understand? Like if a man was to look at me, he would go, "Oh, you ain't perfect, man. You gotta, you got these flaws going on. You don't have the body structure. You don't have the muscle tone that you should have. You might be this, but you ain't perfect, bro." Well, that's because you're measuring me with carnal eyes. Measure a man or a woman with spiritual perceptibility, and you will see what perfection truly is. But let's turn to the book of 1 Kings still. Turn to the book of 1 Kings chapter 11. Now, during this time, this is dealing with Solomon. Solomon was slipping. Solomon loved many strange women. And it says even including the daughters of the Egyptians, of Pharaoh. So Solomon was, he was slipping. And this is what ended up happening to him. Verse 4 reads, For it came to pass. Verse 4 reads, in 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 4 it reads, For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned his heart away after other deities. And his heart was not perfect with YAH, his Elohim, and was as was the heart of David his father. Now, he said David's heart was perfect, but did David not sin in the course of his lifetime? You see what I'm saying? David sinned, but what was the one thing that we can mention that David did that made him seem perfect in the eyes of YAH? Yes, sir.
I believe David had a heart. He had his heart, like his heart was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that his heart was not like anybody else's heart. I think that's the difference. I think David's representative heart.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. And you know what? You're absolutely right. David, when he sinned, he didn't go back to that same sin again. And like you said, like we often do. Yeah, man. We often go back to the same exact sin. Ask for the same exact forgiveness. I have a question. If we keep sinning, should we then keep asking for forgiveness? That's my question. If we keep sinning, should we then, and let's say, and I'm not just saying it's a new sin. We keep asking for forgiveness for the same transgression. Not transgression. Well, some of us, we do sins over and over and over and over again. If we're going to continuously sin, for example, if we know that premarital sex is forbidden and we keep doing it, but then when we do it and we get caught up in something, we want to say, forgive me, but then return right back to it. Is there a point where we stop asking for forgiveness of sin? If we gonna keep sinning? Yes, sir.
See, do we ask for forgiveness? I would say no. I would say no. Because we're going to do it again. Because our heart is weak. We'll say no.
Very good. Very good. My brother Elijah said no because our heart is weak. So my question I'm going to ask again and see who else I get out here. Should we continuously ask for forgiveness of sin if we're going to keep sinning? And let me be more specific. I'm not talking about presumptuous sins. I'm not talking about sins through ignorance. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about sins through ignorance. I'm talking about presumptuous sins. So that's my question. If you're going to keep doing the same sin over and over again, should you keep asking for forgiveness? And that's my question. If not, let's read something real quick. Turn with me to the book of Numbers, chapter 15. In the book of Numbers, chapter 15, Elijah, would you read verse 27 for me, please, and thank you.
And if any soul sin through ignorance, then he shall bring a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before Yahweh, to make an atonement for him. And it shall be forgiven him. Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them.
Now pause. We stopped at verse 29. Sinning through ignorance. When you sin through ignorance, ignorance just simply means you didn't know. You didn't know that, let's say you had premarital relations. And let's say you didn't know that that was something that was a law against YAH. You sinned through ignorance. Now, let's say that happened through, we're dealing with these days and times. We're not dealing with of days of old. We're dealing with these days and times. So let's say you met a woman, you fell in love with her, and you guys had relations before marriage, and then you come across a scripture like this where it talks, or a scripture where it talks about it should be no whores. And then you look up and you say, well, she's not a whore. She's just having sex with me. Well, then you look up what the definition of a whore is. And then you start studying, you start being like, whoa, I am making her a whore because I haven't married her. And all we're doing is having sex. So now I sinned through ignorance. I ignorantly committed this offense. That's forgiving me. Tattoos. Many of us coming up, especially, you know what I'm saying, you came up and you got your rebellious stage, or you came up in your, you came up from the streets, and tattoos is a symbol. Sometimes tattoos symbolize the things you done went through in life. They have messages, they have something. So you may walk around looking like a walking pincushion. But then you come across the law, hold this. And then you come across this law. Turn with me to the book of Leviticus chapter 19. Leviticus 19. You like, wait a minute. So you got all these tattoos on your body. You might just have one tattoo on your body. And then you come across this. In the book of Numbers chapter 19, and you say, well, and you read verse 28. Hey, shalom, family. And you read verse 28. Shalom, family. And in verse number 28, you come across, now mind you, you got tattoos. You may have one, you might got two. I done seen cats with tattoos all over their face. I used to love tattoos. I don't have any though. Because every time I tried to go get one, something came up. And I was like, what's this about? But if I could have tattoos, I'll be tatted. But they would mean something. I wouldn't get no just to get one. But you got all these tattoos and you come across this verse. In Leviticus 19 and 28, it says, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am YAH. That's not saying, when it says nor, that's including. Don't mark yourself for the dead. Don't cut your flesh for the dead. And when it talks about don't print no marks on you, that's exactly that, which includes tattooing. Now, let's say you meet a little cutie and she fine and you ain't got no paper and she want to write her number down. I've asked this question before. You better find some paper. You better write it on your jeans or something. Don't write it on your flesh. That's why when you go to places like, I think when I used to would take my daughter to Chuck E. Cheese and they would stamp your hand. When you go to certain parks, then you go to like water parks, they stamp it on some paper or some clothing. Don't stamp it on her, because that's putting a mark on the flesh. Don't get, when you go into clubs, if I got to get stamped in a club, I got a problem with that, then maybe we just go somewhere else. Because you putting a mark on me, he don't want, that's against the law of the Almighty. Some people might look at that and be like, nah, man, that's really trivial. No, it's not. The Almighty don't want us doing that. So let's say you come across that and you got tattoos all over your body, right? What do? Do you take and bang your head on the concrete? Do you take your skin? No. I can afford to go through that painful procedure of getting it removed. I'll do it. But if I can't, guess what? I just won't get any more from here on out. Because now I've sinned. So now I sinned through ignorance because I didn't know it was a law against having tattoos or cutting my flesh for the dead. I didn't know that. But now I do. So from here on out, from this moment on, when you learn about a law, you at that point are a newborn and you're able to redevelop yourself around this law. So for example, you found it out. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, I just saw here where it says no prostitutes. I see here where it says when you lay with somebody, it's you don't make no whores out of the daughters of Zion. I see that. I'm sorry. Let me stop doing that. Forgive me, Father. And then you start taking steps to stop. However, if you go, I know it's wrong, but it feels so good. At that point, you move from sinning through ignorance to read verse 30 for me. We're in Numbers 15.
Ye shall keep my Sabbaths.
No, Numbers 15.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. We're in Numbers 15. And hold on. I'm glad you did read that a little bit. Don't go back to it. But like you said, hey, I didn't know that the Sabbath day was on SAT day. Now I study and I see it. Okay, from here on out, every SAT day, I'm taking off from work or doing any business because this is YAH's day. I didn't know I was doing this in ignorance. I bought, let's say you get into the law and hold this Numbers 15. Go back to Leviticus 19 real quick. Hold this Numbers because we're going to go right back to it, but I'm going to read something. Let's say that you got into the law, right? And you like, okay, I see this law or whatever the case may be. So now you looking at it and you go, okay, let me see. All right, let's look at verse 27. And you a man, right? And it says here, ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Mar means to totally destroy. And you destroy your beard by totally cutting it off. So let's say that you were a man that was used to being clean shaven. Every morning you got up and you hit that razor. When you come across this law and you getting closer to YAH, you like, oh, I didn't know that was wrong for me to do. So so now let me let my beard grow in. Let me let my beard start to grow in. Let me start doing that, because Yahweh don't want me getting because some people can't grow hair here. They can only do the goatee. That's just some people. So I know not to cut that off. I can trim it down low. I can shape it up, but I have to keep my corner. I can't shave it. You understand what I'm saying? So from here on out, I'm gonna let I'm gonna let the hair grow on my face. Yes, sir.
What would we consider your beard?
Here, the hair that's on the side of your face, this. Some people don't have this. So this can be considered your beard too. This is part of your beard. All this is your beard. That's your beard. And when you mar your beard is when you see some people get certain designs in their beard and you done cut through the corners and you done disconnected it. And I'm not talking about those whose beards can't connect. Because there are some people who can have hair on their face, but it just don't connect. You know what I'm saying? But these here, your jaw points are your corners. These here are corners. He say don't mar, don't destroy it. In other words, don't cut your beard off. You can get it trimmed down. You can get it shaped up. Just as long as you don't cut the corners and all that. You know what I'm saying? And if you were doing that, you can say, y'all forgive me. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I couldn't do that. You understand? Praise y'all. Now let's look at something else. Let's see. Rounding the corners. These are your corners here too. Like if I have my hat off, these are your corners. Here and here and here. These are corners. And when it says rounding your corners, there's some African tribes that's what they do. They when you look at them, they round their corners by they cut their corners. They round it, and some of them have what they call back in the day soup bowls. So when you round in your corners, there's a way you can style and round your corners that the Almighty don't do that. He don't want you to round the corners of your head. Why he don't want you to do it? I haven't studied it. All I've been doing is concentrating. No, he don't want me doing it. So when I go to the barber, I let him know. Even when I went, I felt comfortable when I used to go to Minister Elisha because he knew the law. But there's some you still got to remind them nah, don't round the corners. Just line me up. Just square. Make sure I'm square. You know what I'm saying? Let's see in here. Let me look at another one. Let's see here. Let's look at verse number 19. It says, ye shall keep my statutes, and we're in Leviticus 19 and verse 19, but don't lose that numbers because we're going back. It says in Leviticus 19 and 19, it says, ye shall keep my statutes, thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy seed with mingled seed. Now, some people may think well, I want to taste what a grape and an apple taste like. So I'm going to make a grape. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that was against Yah's law. So when I find out that it was wrong, guess what? Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. So what you say, okay, well, most of your stuff in your closet is mingled, right? You got a bunch of stuff in there that's mingled. Some people think this is just talking about woolen and linen. No, when you read it in the Tanakh, it talks about any mixed garment. And as a matter of fact, if you look and still hold that numbers, turn with me to the book of Deuteronomy 22. I'm going to show you something here too. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 11. It says, thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts. So it's letting you know, don't wear a garment of diverse sorts, and it's giving you an example as of woolen and linen together. So don't wear a garment that's made of mingled material. So you look at that, turn back to Numbers 15. So now you're looking at that and you go, well, dang, okay, let me start. That don't mean you go in your closet. I'm just saying, and just grab up all your stuff and now you naked. No, you replace things. Boom. Okay, I got paid. Now let me start replacing stuff out. I have a bunch of women have a bunch of mingled underclothes. Okay, now I can start replacing them. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hey, shalom, sis. So now I can start replacing them. You know what I'm saying? Men, we got mingled socks. We got mingled hoodies and mingled clothing. Okay, I found out that they're mingled. So guess what? Let me now start replacing them. And then as you replace, you get rid of. As you replace, you get rid of. You replace, and then you get rid of. And then you get rid of. You understand? And then eventually, your whole closet, your underwear drawer, your sock drawer, is all this stuff you done bought is now 100%. And you didn't have to walk around butt naked. Winter coming. You got a winter coat in there that's mingled. You replace it, then you get rid of it. You get rid of it. Now let me ask. Sidebar. Turn back to Numbers 15. Now let me ask this question. Let's say you go through your closet and you get rid of all your mingled stuff. What should you do with it?
Set it up and make something out of it.
You could.
Or I would just probably back in the day they burned it. But I don't think, or throw it away.
Okay. Any other options? Well, Elijah's right. Some people be like, come on, brother. You mean to tell me that I got this $400 shirt and it's mingled that I got to throw it away? Yep. Oh, brother Michael, you smoking. You tripping. No. Why? Unless you give it to, some people might say, well, what you talking about, brother Michael? Because the law was meant for the world to keep. But you don't want to give it away because another Israelite could go and buy it, purchase it. And now they're breaking the law until they find out the law. Then it's just going to be a cycle. So, you know, but I spent $1,500 on that coat. Sorry. So that's if you sin through ignorance. You met, let me give you one more example. You met a woman, beautiful. She's saying all the right things. You sitting there, y'all talking about, let's say y'all having a conversation about intellectual things. Y'all talking about the stars and talking about Torah. Y'all quoting scripture together. Come to find out, you getting with this woman, you feeling her, and she'd say, well, Jonah, I have something I want to share with you. You'd be like, what's up? Well, my husband and I, your husband? Yes, we're just separated, but we're not together. That's when you be like, oh, really? Well, call me when y'all divorced. And I need to see proof. That's what a righteous man would do. And you ask for forgiveness because you were ignorant to that. You didn't know. You didn't know. But once you find out, you say from here on out, I'm doing things in righteousness. No, sister, we can't even if you got to be like, we can't even be friends. Not until you fix your situation. You get, no, I ain't getting in that. You ain't gonna cause me to, man. But then if you say, I know it's wrong to have premarital sex, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm lonely and it feels good. I know it's wrong for me to wear this, but I done spent $1,500 on this outfit. Damn if I'ma throw it away. Forget what Brother Michael talking about. You understand? Or even you eat something. That's always a biggie. You be like, dang, this chicken, it's really good. Somebody tell you like, yeah, what I do is before I fry it, I dip it in pork fat. You like, you dip it in what? What? Y'all forgive me. I didn't know. And people can say, well, that's why you need to do better inquisition. You need to do. Stop. Things happen. Those are mistakes. Because you didn't purposefully do that. That's you sin through ignorance. That's why the Almighty says here, go back to that Numbers 15 and read verse 28 again. It's for someone who sins through ignorance.
And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before Yahweh, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him.
It shall be forgiven him, because you didn't do it on purpose. But let's say we're that bullheaded people, and we say, you know what? I hear but whatever. This chicken was good, or whatever. I don't care about what nobody's saying. I just have to. I heard this comment, and it should make it. Man, I remember one time we had a topic in here, Elder. I think you remember it. Well, I know you do. When we talked about what if somebody came in and hurt and harmed your family and killed and murdered your family, right? Or they didn't murder your family, but they came in, they knocked you out, and you couldn't help your family, but they murdered your wife and did something to you, murdered your child. Your child ended up dying in the hospital. And what would you do if you came across that person again? And they done changed their life. And they walking with YAH. What would you do? The comments, of course, were, oh, he got to go. And then this comment here is what got me. Is when I heard, I'll just have to deal with YAH. You know what that showed me? That when we make comments like that, that means we don't know the Almighty. We really don't fear him. And some may say, well, Brother Michael, what you mean? You don't, what you mean? That man, somebody did something to you. If the Almighty we don't know what the Almighty got for this man. Who's to say that it's okay? Is it okay for us to be the avenger of blood? We don't have the city set up a refuge. We don't have the priests. So let me ask, is it okay for us to be the avenger of blood? Something to think about. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm human. Of course, your first thought going to be, I'm going to blow your head off. I don't care about your fringes. I don't care about you saying, don't say no peace to me. You dead. Right now, you ain't even alive. But then, what if the Almighty tell you, don't touch it? We'll argue with YAH. But YAH, did you see? Yeah, I was there, fool. Yeah, I saw it. But don't you touch it. Yeah, but YAH, don't touch him. Well, YAH, I'm just going to have to deal with you because he got to die. Okay, son, daughter, you bad. You can deal with me. Do what you do. I don't ever want to be that bold to say I just have to deal with YAH. The only reason David did it, because I don't have the spirit of David. I'm not David. But the only reason why David did it was because but even when David said, Yahweh gave him 3 choices. David said, I deal with you, YAH, because you will show me mercy. That's why I deal with you, because you're going to show me mercy. But for me to say, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and just deal with YAH on the other end, man, do you know how deep that is? But that's how most of us walk and carry ourselves. So let's say, but you sinned through ignorance. You knew better. You now know better. Now you're doing better. Now, this verse 30 in Numbers 15 is for the person who knows better but chooses to stay wicked or to do what's wrong. Read verse 30 for me, please.
But the soul that doeth presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Almighty, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he have despised the word of Yahweh, and have broken his commandment. That soul shall utterly be cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him.
Pause. Now, why? Why didn't it say that for that soul that presumptuously sins, a priest will get a sacrifice for him? Why can't that soul be saved? That presumptuously sins against the Almighty. Why can't that soul be rescued? Because you knew better. Now, let's attribute this to now. Most of the things we do, we know better. But for some reason, we have an Elohim that's being merciful to us. Look, you knew that you weren't supposed to do this. You've been in the law long enough to know. Now you over here and you got all these women pregnant and you ain't even marrying them. You out here being a whoremonger. But I'm giving you chance after chance because we're in the land of captivity. And we're not taking advantage of this captivity the way that we should. But what has captivity done to us? You know what it's done to us? It has desensitized us from the Almighty. It has made us feel that, hell, I've been doing wrong for all these years and look at me. I'm flourishing. Why would I want to turn now? What you mean be organized? What you mean stop working on the Sabbath day? What you talking about? That's when I make most of my money. If I was really cursed, you think the Almighty would bless me to have all this money? Look at how prosperous I am. And look at you over there, all broke and walking around with the things hanging off your pants. And you broke, asking me for $5. And you know why I give it to you? Because I'm nice. So I'm going to give you this little $5 because it don't hurt me. But I bet I can't ask you for $5 and you serve YAH. So what happens is over time, generation, and we're going to read about that, generation upon generation upon generation, the next generation that's coming up, if we don't get our acts together, that next generation may end up being like that generation that was in Egypt in Exodus chapter 1 that don't even know of a YAH. At least we have some that know of a Most High. But what happens when it's just like this? What happens if you got a cup? It could be a cup about this big. And you put in about this much chocolate syrup in it. If you add white milk to it, you're still going to have the consistency or the consistent color of brown, right? But the more milk you pour in it to the point of where it's going to overflow, that color becomes lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter to the point where it almost may dissipate. You may see remnants of chocolate, but it won't be the overpowering force. And that's exactly what has happened with sin. You okay, man? Okay. And that's what has happened with sin. Sin is desensitizing us from the Almighty. Now we done got to the point now that shoot, we sin, ain't nothing happening to nobody. When we look out the window and when you go down the street, you see people, drug dealers, making money. But I'm gonna tell you though, COVID done hit that profit margin. You got crackheads nowadays that's, I don't know what's going on with them, but drug dealers ain't making as much money as they used to. But nonetheless, you see people, if you were to, let me ask this question. Let's say that you were from another country, right? And you wanted to find out the plight of blacks in America. And you jumped to social media. What would you think about the blacks in America? How do we portray ourselves in social media? Yes, sir. Now, mind you, you're a foreigner. And you like, I heard these stories about blacks. Let me look at that. And we post everything on social media. Everything. That's what you were saying earlier. Yeah, we post everything on social media. So you want to learn something about somebody? You ain't even got to talk to them. Go to their Facebook page. Go to their IG. Check them out. Everything is on there. They tell you how old they are. They tell you about some of them get the point. You be like, damn, your age gone, your birthday. So if I'm a foreigner and I'm looking, I want to see the plight of black people, and they say, well, go to social media. If I go on social media, what would I see? Yes, sir.
Chains.
Bruh.
Chains. Chains.
Right. Yes.
Whips. Cars. Girls. What else?
Can you pause for just a second though? Ain't that deep? How we still carry the slave mentality even today? Like you brought out the chains. What we call our cars. Whips. You understand? But go ahead, man. I had to bring that. Was good what you said. That was good, man.
What else? Grills.
Yeah.
We like food.
Yep, we do.
EBT card.
Exactly.
They be.
You right. Man, you hitting the nail right on the head. Yes, ma'am. That was that.
So that's it's just more, but that's it.
But you've hit a lot of the key points. If I'm foreign and I'm looking at the plight of black people, you know what I'm gonna say to you? Why are you crying? Your worst neighborhood would be considered a middle class neighborhood where I'm from. Because we don't post oppression. When you go on social media, we don't look oppressed. We look like we live in the time of our lives, don't we? We posting the gold chains, the grills, the cars, the hair, luxurious. Not knowing that in order for me to buy these J's and to buy that hair, that my rent gonna be late. I'm facing eviction. You don't see that on social media, do you? You don't see on social media, I'm posting this picture now, but I gotta move my car because the repo man looking for me. You don't see that. You understand? Like you brought out them points. And then you don't see, you see me wearing the Jordans and the $500 outfit, or jeans, and I'm rocking them. But you ain't knowing that I ain't taking care of my children. So yeah, it's easy for me to buy this stuff because my rent is only $7 because I'm on Section 8. Like you said, the EBT card. Yeah, girl, I got like $1,600 in stamps. You just flashing that all over. And you looking like, but you getting food assistance? You living in a ghetto, but your ghetto is nicer than my house. And I live in the suburbs in this country. And you complaining, Negro? So what if you police done shot you? So what? When we walk outside our houses, the military getting our babies and raping them and murdering them. They busting into our homes. And you crying about some police done shot one of y'all? What did you do? That's why foreigners, they look at us, man, they'll go about that. And all they have is social media. And then when they get over here, of course, foreigners, Africans, when Africans come over here, of course they looking at you like you losers. They looking at you like, how is it that you have all this and you still here? How is that? And you looking like, man, we over here struggling. No, you're not struggling. Look, they gave me a business loan. Yeah, they gave you a business loan. You know why they gave you a business loan, Ubuntu? Let me explain why they gave you a business loan, Ubuntu. Because you, Ubuntu, can be deported. So you're going to come over here and you're going to act right. Because you don't want to get deported. Julio, you don't want to get deported. So that's why they'll give you a business loan, because you're in the palm of their hand. They give me a business loan, or they hate me because they can't send me back home. You can't deport me. The American black man and woman cannot be deported. And the white man hate us because they don't want to face the fact that they the reason. Well, they ain't the only reason why. But they brought us over here and they pissed because they can't deport us. You took away slavery, and we can't deport these niggers. So, damn it, I'll just kill them. Kill them all. So, Ubuntu, we love us some Ubuntu. Ubuntu, we love you, Ubuntu. You and your ass, your feet, we just love you. Because you little nigger, let me tell you, we can deport you. We send your little ass right back over there to them damn dirt piles. If you don't act right, Ubuntu. But that damn nigger Mike Kale, we can't do nothing with him. But actually we can. Lynch them. We can lynch them niggers, and the more we lynch them, the more they have. Damn it. So let's put something in the water. Let's spray something in the air. Hell, let's add 6 more genders to the 2 genders that's already there. These little niggers go around and make love to each other. Man on man, woman on woman, no more reproduction. The white man has won again. Hell, let's shine some money in their face. Let's take away the sanctity of marriage. Let's glamorize adultery. Let's glamorize being a thief. Let's glamorize not being righteous, but let's glamorize wickedness. Let's glamorize whoredom. How do you glamorize whoredom, brother? You glamorize whoredom by if a man lay with a bunch of women, Bunch of women, what is he called? He a player. Woman lay with a bunch of men, she a whore. You whore. It's crazy. Yes, ma'am, my elder. No, go ahead.
No.
You ought to see the pictures my wife was sending me. Quit bullying me, babe. Praise Yah.
Add to what you were saying.
Sure.
We're trying to eliminate our race of people.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed, like on social media and stuff, how they're promoting interracial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're starting to see a lot more Black women with white men. And they are, I mean, it's like every other commercial, or if you're seeing interracial relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and you're seeing white men with the Black women.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Statistically, it's more Black men that's leaving Black women for other nationalities than it is Black women and Black men. And I'm explaining this to you, and I'm not just saying this, but if it makes you feel good as a Black woman, well, so be it. You Black women have stuck in with us Black men and been a strong helpmeet to us. But the reason that a lot of our Black homes are destroyed, because one thing that I came across some understanding on was, here's the thing. The Black woman, I'm only dealing with the Black woman. Most Black women are saying, that's why the term, I don't need a man, they don't really mean that. Brother, you ain't in the head of no Black woman. No, I'm not. But Black women, when Black women say they don't need a man, it's not necessarily they don't need a man. It's that they know they may not ever get one because of the things that we're being subjected to. And I say that because most Black men were weak. We're weak. Ain't nothing wrong with crime, but we're softer than you women. A man that all he do is spread his seed, that don't make you a man. That just make you a fertilizer. That's it. You a fertilizer. You ain't taking care of nothing. You just spreading your seed everywhere. And then we want to get mad at you sisters when y'all go get the Rahims or the little Jim Bobs out here on the street that's selling drugs that ain't no good. But we don't stop and think that the reason that there are little Rahims is because we as men didn't raise them to be nothing more than what they are. And then we come to you women and be like, well, we want you women to be subservient. Oh, hell no. What you mean be subservient? When most of us haven't helped and been strong men, I ain't talking about the ones that are. Like my elder Ezekiel would say, if the shoe don't fit, don't try it on. But you know who you are, making babies, walking around here talking about some dang on shalom, shalom, and leaving these women high and dry along with your children. And then we talking about these men who don't hold themselves accountable. If the house ain't in order, it's our fault. You got a woman in your house that don't want to act right, get rid of her. You got to go, baby. You ain't going to bring that in here. Well, maybe you need to go live with your mama again. You ain't going to bring that in here. Take them babies with you, too. They don't want to act right. Take them with you. Especially when you live in a household and the woman is telling them, the children, don't listen to your daddy. Telling the daddy, don't you put your hands on these babies. What the hell? I'm gonna spank that bottom. I'm talking about don't you touch that baby. Now they running to mama. And now they raising war. It's a battle. It's the whole house against the father. What the hell you say? You and them little helligans can go. You understand? But a lot of it is because us as men haven't been stand-up men. And I'm talking about the men that's in Israel. We as men, we're not all together right. But we want to blame the woman for everything. No, it ain't all her fault. We played our part too. And I'm going to read a couple comments on here. Bram Stokes, my man Bram, he said, that's why we as fathers need to be perfect with the Almighty. I totally agree. Because we can have the Almighty look out for our seed. That is fact. Like Solomon, the Almighty didn't punish him because of David. Good point. That is fact. The Almighty didn't punish because David was righteous. That's why that's why he did tell him, no, he said, listen, there will not lack anyone from the seed of David to sit on the throne as long as you're doing what you need to do. And then when Solomon sinned and did what he did, then the kings after him started sinning. That's why there's nobody that rests on the seat of David. That's why it's going to be David that comes back. And my wife said, shalom. Praise Yah. If we were going to be presumptuous with our sins, then why even bother? They've taken priority over everything anyway. I totally agree. Why bother asking for forgiveness when you presumptuously doing something that you know is wrong? And then let me ask this question. In your eyes, do you know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong? Do you know the difference in your walk as an individual in your life? Do you know what's right and what's wrong? Just think about that for a second. I'm going to read some more comments. My brother said, it's the cutting and the ink. Then let's see, can't use a pen. Praise Yah. Start little by little. Yep. Got to make the sacrifice for the Almighty. Bram Stokes. And then he also said it's good to do laws by sacrifice. That's right. It says as of woolen and linen. That's an example, people. Didn't go. You're right. It's an example. That's right. And he said garbage. That's where you put that stuff. You understand? I'm just going over these because and then he said the wicked portions of this world, the righteous are death after death. Check this out. Because we have our hands in so much filth, it's hard for us to see that it's possible to have clean hands. It is. The law is soap and water, guys. It's just that simple. The law is soap and water. But why do we struggle with that? Let's think about that for a quick second. Why do we struggle with that? Why is that such a problem for us to get? When the laws of Yahweh, following him, is soap and water. Let me ask this question. Would you feel comfortable if your doctor came in after seeing a patient and he got some soap, he washed his hands in water, and then came and touched you? Or are you okay with him coming in, just getting some hand sanitizer, rubbing his hands? Now, he done seen like 5 people up until you, 10 people, 100, probably 20 people up until you, and all he's used is hand sanitizer, and he wants to come in and touch your face. Which one would you be more comfortable with? Because I can share with you, me, I would much rather you get in there and use soap and water. And then if you want to use some hand sanitizer, then that shows me you care about my health. Because all you doing, because I'm gonna tell you, that's what was making one of the things with during the time of COVID or during the time of any sickness. That's what makes it to where the hand sanitizer don't work, because what happens is the germs in your hand become even more adaptable to. That's why when that's why I don't get salty, because I remember I'm in a building with black people. Black people are very rude. Some of our people are very rude. So that's why I just pause and let them do what they do. But that's why hand sanitizer is not a good thing to use to combat germs, because germs begin to adapt to it. You understand? So anyway, let's see, make sure I read everything here. And I did. Are there any comments or questions? Any other comments or questions? Wow, there's some more comments. Praise y'all. Brother Bram. He says, that's the problem. The most men gotta leave. Men do be having their own lanes. My father moved in to my mother's crib, but took over every bill and rent. Now let me ask this question. Praise y'all. Let me ask this question. I've heard women say, I want my man to be like my father. But how many of you women are willing to be like their mother? Let's see if we're dealing with a double standard here. Ain't that about nothing? There's a lot of silence in the room. I gotta be like your daddy, but you ain't willing to be like my mama? My mama ironed my drawers. You understand? My mama made sure I had breakfast ready. My mama made sure that I had everything together, but you're not willing to be like my mama, but you want me to have the characteristics of your father. How fair is that? Ain't that destructive in relationships? It's always one way when it comes to relationships. Always one way. And I thought about that a couple weeks ago too. I was like, wow. You said what, Sister Maria?
Yeah, I would want him to be like my father, because there's only one of my father who it's not no replica or nobody that can duplicate him. You know, I might say, you know, some of the characteristics. No, what I want you to do is be your own man. I know I'm not gonna tell no man I want you to be like my father. No, I know how to decipher a good man from a bad man. No, like that. I mean, why woman someone would tell you, no, be you and be the best of you. That's all I would tell them.
There you go. And then no, I don't want you to be like my mama. I love my mama, but that's kind of sick.
Yeah,
That's kind of sick.
Exactly.
You know, you remind me of my mama. Like, what kind of relationship did y'all have, man? You remind me so much of my mama. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting turned on. Like, could you put on this moo-moo? The hell? Call me Pookie. What? Yes, ma'am.
I wish you would be more like my father.
Mm-hmm.
But I do look for certain characteristics, and not just with my father, but what I would consider a man.
I got you.
Things that I feel a man should do.
Got
Like let's take for example, you know, doing yard work, knowing how to check my fluids in my car. You know, changing, you know, a flat tire, putting a spare on there. And this is one that I'm seeing this with a lot of guys around my age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say from like mid-50s down. If we are in a house and we see a mouse or a rat, we both can't be standing on the table screaming.
Right.
You
Right.
gonna get your butt down, catch that rat or that mouse. We can't both be scared and screaming and standing on the table.
Right. You don't be that man.
And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you too.
There you go.
And I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna tell you about that too, being a man. I don't know about checking fluids in cars. I will never trained to do, shown how to do that. Does that make me any less of a man? I don't know. I know about yard work and gardening and stuff like that, but I just would rather pay somebody else to do it because I'm lazy when it comes to that. I'm just being honest. Does that make me any less of a man? Shouldn't make me any less of a man. Now with the mice, me and the mice we gonna square up. Cause and that's one thing as a man, and that's one thing I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Even if you as a man, I'm just saying, brothers, listen, and you gotta put on a front, and you really scared inside. You put on that front, I'm being real. You be like, baby, you hide, close the door, and you go in that kitchen, be like, please don't come out and jump on me. And then don't jump on me. And she be like, baby, you got him? No, but I'm gonna kill him. How dare he scare you? Where you at? Please don't get me. You know what I'm saying? Even you got to put on a front because the woman has got to feel secure. And that's the thing that we have lost as men is making you women feel secure. Making you feel secure. You understand? But all that ties back into the reason that we're in the predicament that we're in today and dealing with presumptuous sins. Because earlier my question was, if I'm just going to keep sinning, then should I apologize to the Almighty? If I'm just going to keep doing it? Or should I apologize for it and work towards changing? If premarital relations feel good to you, and you know that that's something that the Almighty is against, and you do it anyway, what are you showing the Almighty? The reason that, I'm going to tell you something. Let's go to this book. Let's go to the scriptures now. Turn with me to the book of Deuteronomy 28. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. In the book of Deuteronomy 28, let's go to the 15th verse. Liza, would you read verse 15 for me, please?
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, the Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Now pause. Now, Yahweh gave us commandments. He said, I want you to do these commandments. Now, if stuff happened to us in our life, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? You can't find no peace. Everything that you try to do, it's met with some type of opposition. Whose fault is it? It's our fault as individuals. But we want to blame the Almighty for everything. Now let's go to this. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. You know what else is destructive? Choices. We've been given so many choices in our lives. My brother Elijah made a statement. He said it was probably a little easier back then to do the law. Well, I'm going to say probably it was, because you didn't have a lot of things, but Solomon said there's no new thing under the sun. They might not have had IG, but believe me, back then they had social media. They had social media. It was just done in a different form. You understand? But when it comes to why we are okay with, like, we're comfortable. Okay, let me ask this question. I read earlier. No, I'll ask it this way. Be honest in your head. For those that are listening, how comfortable are you? And I'm going back to this point. How comfortable are you with having premarital sex? Sorry to be kind of blunt, but don't mean no harm. But how many of us are comfortable having premarital sex? Most of us in the world can't wait. Like most of us right now can't wait till they love wintertime because it get dark earlier. And you looking at your girlfriend, she's looking good, and you all in the mood, and she's off for her cleanliness now. How many of us will be willing to give up premarital sex just to do the right thing with YAH? That's something you got to ask yourself. You know, and I'm going to make it hard for you too. It's okay to close up the cookie jar if the man's not that attractive. But you like him. He's nice. He treats you well. He'll be a good husband. And it's easy to be like, nope, you don't get none of this. But what if this man is fine? What if he's fine like me? I'm kidding. What if this man is fine? Chocolate, muscles, smooth talking. It's not as easy to keep them legs closed. When it comes to him, you become a 24-hour gas station. 24-hour depository. So let's read something. In the book of Deuteronomy 30, so you start at verse 11.
For this commandment, which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven, and bring it unto us, that we can hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it unto us, that we can hear it and do it. But the word is very nigh unto thee, and thy mouth and thy heart, that thou can do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil.
Now pause. We'll stop right there. He set before us life and death, right? Good and evil. Meaning that he gave us a choice. He gave us free will. Very good. Thank you. He gave us free will. He gave us this free will. Think about what you are doing with this free will. Now, I want to read this poem that y'all bless me with. I want to read it before it gets dark. Then it won't be purpose. It wouldn't be purpose. But we're going to praise Yah. It says, the light breaks through the night season to bring forth the new day of his mercy. Yah carries us on his shoulders as he judges the earth in righteousness. So rest in Yah's arms and be replenished to life. Praise Yah. Now, the only way to be replenished is to rest in his arms. Now, how do you rest in Yah's arms? Think about it. I'm going to let y'all think about that. How do we rest in his arms? How do we find peace? Because Yahweh has given us free will. All of us in this room right now has free will, right? Right now, everybody in here could just get up and leave, take your fringes off, leave them, walk out, and don't even think no more about the Almighty. We're all given that choice, right? So now let's ask, because no one is forced. No one is forced to be here. So now think about the reason why you choose to sit here. It's almost 5 o'clock. Why are you choosing to stay? Why do you repeat coming back? Why is that? Think about that. You don't have to answer it out loud, but think about it. Why? It can't be because I'm just this charismatic rain of sunshine. Can't be that. It can't be because I'm so fine that y'all can't wait to see me. Well, you better not say that. It can't be that. So it's got to be something else that keeps bringing you back. It's got to be something else. Because if the Almighty says, here, I'm opening the doors of freedom to you. Like right now, let me ask this question. Right now, think about it. I've asked it before, but I'm gonna recycle it. What if the Almighty didn't lay out a reward for doing good? All he said was, I just want you to do good. And he didn't say you were getting nothing. He didn't say you were going to get to go home. He didn't say you were going to get blessed. He didn't say none of that. And that don't mean he wasn't going to do it, but let's say it wasn't mentioned. How many of us would still want to do good just because it's him? And that's something to think about. Because I'm going to tell you, that question isn't an attack. But what I'm showing is look at how strong your character is. Look at how strong you are. Look at yourself. When you get home. And you're like, dang, I could have kept driving. But I chose to park my car and come inside of this little space here, this space here. I could have stayed home, but I chose to come here. And I caught the bus here just to be here. Why? And I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you why. Because you are a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for. Earlier, I read about how what chooses, what Yah considers to, when you're perfect, right? He says you following him. That's love, man. That's love. Because for you to say to somebody, like, for example, what if you were in a relationship with somebody, right? And they come up to you and be like, look, man, right now, I'm messed up. Financially, I'm messed up. I'm on drugs. I'm trying. It's taking me a long time. Baby, you got the right to leave. but you don't. You choose to stay there and fight with them. That don't make you look stupid. That makes you look strong and committed. I don't care what you think about yourself. You're committed to the Almighty, Elijah. Elder Nesha, you're committed. Sister Maria, you committed. Sister Angela, I don't care what you think. You're committed to the Most High. Because I know y'all ain't come here to look at me. I know you didn't. Those that's listening, Brother Bram, you understand? My man Gary, Sister Beulah, Sister Andrea, Lioness. Kaya. Y'all are here for a reason. It's not just because I'm talking. It's because you love the Almighty so much that you want to hear how great He is. So stop looking at yourself any less than being great. You don't need no accolades. You don't need no man. You don't need no woman to tell you great. You great because you are a servant and a child of the Almighty YAH. That's what makes you great. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you phenomenal. Shalom, Brother Brown. Praise YAH. Shalom. Love you, brother. That's what makes you great. It ain't about what the other people think about you. So when it comes to being obedient to the Almighty, we got to do better. Stop thinking, get it out your head that even though something like a law like wearing mingled garments, you might look at it, that's frivolous. That's trivial. And let me ask this question. I'm going to give y'all a chance. Give me one law that's Yahweh's that's trivial. That's not important. Just give me one. Anybody. This ain't no shaming. Let's talk about it. Give me one law of Yahweh, and anyone that's still listening, give me one law of Yah's that's trivial. That doesn't matter. So then what I'm understanding is that all His commandments are important, right? At least to a certain extent, right? They're all important. So if they are important, now you got to ask yourself, then why am I not executing it? Why am I not willing to change for this if it's important to me, if it's important to the Almighty? Because He gave me free will. He did tell me that I can choose this, I can choose that. So He gave me that option. Any comments or questions? All right. Is it dark outside yet? 5:15. So what I wanted to do, praise Yahweh that He blessed me to bring out, was the fact that earlier we dealt with Lot. Okay, thank you. Earlier we dealt with Lot, and we dealt with his wife, and we dealt with the fact that what caused her to turn into a pillar of salt is that she couldn't leave the past alone. And that's exactly what happens to us, is that we have a problem with wanting to stay in the past. It's comfortable to us. Had she let the past go, she could have furthered her future with her family. But unfortunately, because of the devastation, his two daughters thought that that was it. So they ended up laying with their father to thinking that they would need to repopulate the earth. Now, of course, that wasn't something that's law. That ain't law. You don't uncover the nakedness of your father or the father of their children. But they, in their minds, they were thinking like, well, we need to repopulate the earth because the destruction of that land was so devastating. But this woman, she looked back. She chose to look at her past and want to hold on to her past so much that it took her life. If right now you afraid to move forward, you need to sit down with yourself and start unshackling some of them chains. Because the further past you go, the more it's going to keep you stagnant like Lot's wife. She ain't moving. She don't get a chance. She didn't get a chance to see what the future holds. She didn't get to see the greatness of nothing else other than the only thing that she has in her memory bank is that moment. And she has to deal with that moment for the rest of her life. And well, actually, her life ended at that moment. So the next time we want to hold on to past, think about Lot's wife and think about what happened to her because she wanted to look back. All right, good. Let's move on. Got a few more minutes. Praise Yah. Any comments or questions? One thing I definitely want to look at is this scripture here. Turn with me to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16. Jeremiah chapter 16. In the book of Jeremiah chapter 16, I'm going to start at verse 11. No, verse 10. No, verse 9. Wow. It says, for thus saith Yah of hosts, in the book of Jeremiah 16 and 9. For thus saith Yah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes, and in your days, the voice of myrrh, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. Now, this is dealing with these particular times here, but we can attribute it today. Even though, like we said earlier, social media shows one depiction of us, but what social media doesn't show is that, to be honest with you, the black man and black woman, especially in America, we're not happy. We're miserable. We're lonely. Peed off because it seemed like we just getting abused and people get away with it. We're angry. Which in turn does what? To the belief in the Most High. It'll make you not believe that there is one. Because you're questioning, how could there be a Most High and look at what I'm going through? Look at what we're going through. How in the heck are we their people? It look like the Jewish man really is the Almighty's people. Maybe they are the true Israelites. Hell, they're prospering. Look at them. Hell, when our fathers would call out for something, look, are we getting lynched? Our daughters are being raped. The black man is taken out of the home, either by his own recognizance or by prison or by death. There's a mark on there's a target from birth until that target is actually hit. And that's my color. You know what? The color of our skin is more dangerous than any weapon we can carry in our hand. And this man lets us know that. He also knows that we can activate that weapon when we become conscious. So what does he create? He create TikToks. Man, tell your girlfriend the Sabbath be over in a minute, man. I can't wait. Here's the thing. Our color's the weapon, our brain is the ammunition. What good is a gun without ammunition? It's just a paperweight. But when you combine the understanding of your melanin and the power in your melanin, when you're able to understand the power in your melanin, and then you understand the power in here, and you put them together, oh man, you an army. You a military. You a soldier. But what this world do? This world does things to make you dull down your ammunition. It lets you do TikTok videos. It lets you get on social media like Elijah said earlier. You get on social media and you comparing yourself to other things. You comparing yourself. Let me tell you, sister, something. If you lose weight because you want to be healthy. Don't do it because you're trying to keep up with some video vixen, some chick on social media. You understand? If you fellas strive to be great because you see greatness in you and you don't want to waste it on BS. So let me continue reading. In verse 10 of Jeremiah 16, it says, "And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt shew this people all these words, and they say unto thee, wherefore hath YAH pronounced all this great evil against us?" Why? Why is he giving us this great evil? What did we do? What did we do? Why is this evil happening to us? Brother Michael, you up there talking about how great or beautiful people we are, how our brains are ammunition. But why are they creating these things to keep us down? Let me ask. You answered your own question, really? Why would you want to strengthen something you feel is a threat? I'm going to ask a very obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's more threatening? A black man with an AK-47 or a black man with a book?
Say a black man with a book.
Why would you say a black man with a book, my brother?
Because with an AK, you can't teach nobody. But with a book, you can, depending on what book it is.
Very good. The most powerful weapon, let me ask this question. Let's use military tactics. What good would the soldiers be if there were no strategists? If there was no one to study the terrain? A book that I want y'all to get a chance to read is one of my favorites. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's an old book, but The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I love that book. It teaches you strategies. It teaches you how to be a general. But let me ask. I ask again. What type of military would you be if you had no strategists?
I guess you would be DOA.
I agree. Wars aren't necessarily won by weapons. Wars are won by strategy. Martial art is strategy. Self-defense is strategy. I can say it today. What made my elder Ezekiel dangerous was he was a thinker. And then you match it with skill, man. If we had 1,000 of him in Israel, man, who would mess with us? You understand what I'm saying? So they do things to soften up your brain. And then when your brain gets mushy and soft, you ask questions. Well, what did we do to you, God? Why are you so angry with us, God? What did we do, God? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, God. I didn't. I just woke up. I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, I'll marry her. Eventually, I'll marry her. But right now, we're just having fun. So we ask, man, why you bring this evil on us? In verse 10. Then it says, oh, what is our sin that we have committed against YAH our Elohim? Yeah. Some of your laws. You know, some of your laws, Most High, is pretty, they're trivial. They're not important. I show it by how I act towards it or how I feel about it. And then verse 11 it says, then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith Yah, and have walked after other deities. These gods don't have to be Christ. They don't have to be ALLAH. These gods can be yourself. These gods can be money. These gods can be 10 things. You don't have to be the God of the sun or the moon. These gods that we follow could be within our own selves. We follow our own Elohims. We worship ourselves. These gods don't have to be the ones that you necessarily see people bowing down to. Here's the thing, listen to this. Anything that you put before the Most High is your God. I'm going to put it out there and say it. Anything you put out there before the Almighty is your God. You may not bow down to it and pray to it, but if anything you put before the Almighty, that's your God. That's because why? Because you're offering servitude to that thing. Am I going to sit here and say that money is bad? No, I'm not going to say that. Money is a good thing. You need money. Money is needed. Money is needed to make things function. Unfortunately, this is the type of world we live in. We're in a capitalistic society, so you need capital in order to make it, correct? But do we need capital? Do we need capital? There's no B in capital. Capital. We need capital more than we do the Most High. That's what you have to think about. What's more important to me? Capital or the Most High? Or can I have both? And in getting both, am I willing to hold on to YAH tighter than I am this capital? These are questions you have to meditate on. And whatever answer you give, be prepared for the consequences. Consequences can be good, or the consequences can be bad. It says here, when they say that, in verse 11 it says, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith Yah, and have walked after other deities, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. Once again, I ask, what law of YAH is trivial? Just give me one. And a lot of people would say, because I know I had a conversation with, one time I didn't get to finishing with the brother, but a lot of people say, well, man wrote the Bible. No, man, here's the thing. I wouldn't debate to say that man didn't write these things down. These things weren't written by the finger of the Almighty. The scriptures was inspired by Yah. Why? Because look at the things that are condemned. The things that are condemned are the same things that man have made themselves to be part of. We're adulterers. We're thieves. We're liars. We're we deal in even the law of dealing with bestiality. Yeah. Bob that live up in the mountains can't find a woman. You got a goat though. And that's real. That's real. There are in certain countries. Yeah, that's real. There are women that lay with animals. Yes. Horses. Goats. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there was one story where a woman was having relations, or she attempted to have relations with a horse. If you've ever seen a horse and how he is, I think I want to say he almost split her in half. Since y'all women want that, I want my man to be built like a horse. Whatever, shut up. No, you don't. Your little wound can't take that. Unless you abnormal like an alien. You got an alien wound. But in all seriousness, name a law that's not important. Just think about that. And then in verse 12, I'm just going to jump down to verse 12. It says, and ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his heart, evil heart, and that they may not hearken unto me. So it says in verse 12, and ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me. And that's exactly how we're walking. We're walking in the imagination of our own way. That's why, even though nobody said that the law was that, there's nobody gave an open response to what law was trivial. In your mind, you gave a response and y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. And that's how we treat his law, like it's trivial. People like, man, this law, man, this law ain't important, but this one is. Who gave us the right to do that? I know we've had discussions before on the law. And I know one law that some people may feel is trivial is having to wear fringes. You got some people who wear fringes, they wearing them wrong. You got the ones where they have the ribbon on top and the fringes hanging, but that's not how Yahweh wants us to have it. He wants it on the corner of our garments. Then you got some that'll deal with garments 100%. Well, that's trivial. That ain't important. Why isn't that important? It's not important because we've given more credence to man than we have the Almighty. If man wrote a report saying, if there was a report out there that said that wearing 100% clothing will preserve your life, how many of y'all will go out there that don't wear 100% garments? And I'm to anybody will be out there buying 100% garments. How many of us? We will be checking. Wait a minute, I need 100%. I need 100%. You want me to tell you how I know? During COVID, how many of us were wearing masks? Many of us were wearing masks. Now, whether or not we took them off when we got outside or took them or felt like we ain't need them, if you wanted to go in a place and they said put on a mask, You put on a mask. I don't care if you wore it down here. You had a mask on, didn't you? And all the man had to say was, we're going to have a mask mandate. We're going to have a mask mandate. So that let me know that we got more respect and fear for man than we do the Almighty. Y'all tell you to wear something that's not mingled. Oh, well, you know, that's trivial. That's man's law. Well, it can't be man's law because you ain't do it, because if man wrote the law, guess what? You be doing it. How you know, Brother Michael? Look at us. We're the example. How many of us is doing 60 and 25 miles on without looking for the police? You might speed and do it, but you're going to be, believe your eyes are out for the police. And as soon as you see something that look like a cruiser, you slowing down. So I need us to stop being on some, well, you know, man wrote the law. Well, if man wrote the law, I know you lying, because then you would do it. Because whatever man says, that's exactly what we do. How many of us at one point of our life was put on medication that we really didn't need, come to find out later, but we took it because the doctor said we needed it? Yes, the doctor said you need this. Then come to find out, why would they, if you've ever went to another doctor, they like, why would they put you on this medication? This is why you can't see. This is why you bloated. This is why your gastrointestinal issues. This is why your lips swole. Why would they put you on this? And you like, well, my doctor said that I had to do it. Lip all swole. My doctor said I had to do it. And I had to listen to my doctor. No, I can't trust nobody. You understand? That's the type of reverence that we show man. That's the type of reverence. All right, well, praise Yah. So, are there any comments or questions about anything? Yes. So what we want to do now is we're going to get ready and adjourn class. I think it's probably getting close to being dark now. Yeah, go check for me, son. Even it don't have to be dark if it's leaning really towards the evening. Yeah, Sabbath is ended. So are there any comments or questions? Is there anything that you guys would like me to talk about, y'all, or go over, y'all willing, next week? I'm going to save. We're going to go over 3 chapters, y'all willing, next week. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, spirit realm. Like when you contacting these people that can read, and if you when you do that, will it have an effect on, like if a family member did that, and will it affect you?
Okay. Spirit realm. If a family member has done it, will it affect you?
And they done told you that they done did it, and they telling you all about what they done said.
All right, that's good. That's real good. Let me put that down. Spirit world. Effect. Next generation. The next generation. If done from someone of our. Okay, good. So the spirit will deal with the spirit realm. Realm. RELALM. Realm. All right, cool. So the spirit realm. So we deal with that. Are there any other topics? Anything anybody wants me to talk about? We'll deal with the spirit realm. Curses. Right. We'll deal with curses. Curses. Right. So we'll deal with curses. We'll deal with spirit realm and curses.
So what that go in, what she was, Sister Angela was saying, curses, what that have a connection, what, once you just talk about, the, people that can read you, because we do have people that can read you.
Yeah, let me put that in there. Yeah, like soothsayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like soothsayers. Yeah, what does he say about soothsayers and people like that? Example. Soothsayer. Okay. Perfect. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Dreams.
Ooh, dreams. Dreams. Oops. Dreams. Okay. Dreams. Sounds good to me. That sounds real good. Dreams. So y'all willing, we'll deal with the spirit world, we'll deal with curses, and we'll deal with dreams. That sounds good to me. Right. Anything you want to know? You know everything, don't you? Me and my brother know everything.
What did they say?
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. I want to ask this question. Do y'all notice that a lot of the things that we debate over in the scriptures are things that didn't get us kicked out the land? Ever noticed that? I thought about that this week. I'm not going to y'all when broadcast tomorrow. But I thought about that as being a topic. We debate on that. But we'll share this with you though. And reading in the Tanakh, that Psalms, I'm in Psalms 82 now, but in Psalms 81, it says something that was very fascinating. Here's the Tanakh. We read it. Psalms 81. I want to share this. Let's see. In the book of Psalms 81 in the Tanakh, I want to read this chapter. I want to read this verse. And I said, when I read it, I said, oh, it's kind of deep. Is it Psalms? Yeah, it's Psalms 81. Let's see. Turn back to that. Here we go. Psalms 81 and make sure it's 81. Is it 81? 80. It's 81. In Psalms 81, and this is in the Tanakh. In verse 4, it reads, no, I'll start at verse 1. It says, or verse 2. It says, sing joyously to Elohim, our strength. Raise a shout for Elohim of Jacob. Take up the psalm. Sound the timbrel, the melodious lyre and harp. Blow the horn on the new moon, on the full moon of our feast day, for it is a law in Israel. That's the only place you really gonna see that at is in Psalms 81 and verse 4 when we read it Tanakh. And when I saw that, I said, and it was shown to me before, but it was shown through the King James, but I had went back and I was reading it again in the Tanakh. Maybe we ought to follow a new moon. Something to meditate on and think about. And maybe, and I was always, because my thing was always, well, show me where the Almighty gave a description. The Almighty didn't really give a description there, though. That was a psalmist who actually gave that depiction of the new moon as being the full moon. I don't know. And then I was at school and I was reading out of this book dealing with the moon, and it even said in the book that a moon has a 30-day cycle. And if we're saying that there are 30 days in a month, yeah. But I still think that things we're debating over didn't get us kicked out of the land. I think our focus should be on this law and on keeping the holy day that y'all allow us to keep, which is the weekly Sabbath. But I thought I would just throw that out there to y'all. So, without any further ado, I want to thank y'all for all the donations that y'all send in, both monetarily and spiritually, and we appreciate all that you send in. Praise Yah. Because it helps to keep this place open, and Yah blesses us to keep this place open and the internet running too. So y'all send in y'all donations. Praise Yahweh. We are truly grateful here at the house of Yahudah. All right. So before we close out, the Sabbath is over. It's been over for a minute. I just continue talking for a few minutes to take us to about 5:30. We got about 2 minutes till. Are there any comments or questions? Is there anything that those that are out there that may be listening, Brother Gary or whoever else is listening, do you have any questions that you would like me to cover? Y'all willing for the next class? I have 3 very powerful topics already. But if there's anything else you would like me to go over, just let me know. Praise Yah. All right, any comments or anything in here? Yes, ma'am.
Very enlightening class.
Praise
Gave
Yah.
me a lot of food for thought,
Praise Yah.
and I enjoyed it.
Praise Yah. Thank you. Praise Yah. All right. Well, with that being said, my elder, would you want to close us out or?
But, sir, you come in here. Come in here since he's been shooting in the hall.
Yeah, man. What's up with you? Antisocial club.
Right.
All right. Okay. You lead us in the prayer, my man. Thank you.
Father God, thank you for gathering us together on your holy day. See another day to praise you, to worship you, and honor you. Yahweh, please watch over our homes, our families. Please heal the sick and wounded. Please just thank you and for all your mercy, your love and kindness. Yahweh, please watch upon us. Yahweh, just thank you for showing us the light, walking the right path. Thank you, Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Y'all bless thee and keep thee. Y'all make your face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. Y'all lift up your countenance upon us and give us peace. They shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Yah is righteous. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise.
Yah is righteous.
Yah is righteous.
Yah is holy.
Yah is holy.
Yah is to be magnified.
Yah is magnified. Amen.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and end this portion of today's Sabbath services. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your wisdom and your love, and we love you guys so much. Praise the Almighty Yah, and may He continuously be with us. And by Yah's will, we'll be here next week at 12. And may Yah continually bless us and keep us. Praise the mighty Yah. Shalom, shalom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.